just wanted to go over some of my trades that I've been going on actually. So this is just one of my couple of ones I've got going on here actually. So I just wanted to review them, what I had in my head actually. So the first one I wanted to look at was this Apple trade. So can't take credit for this, but just wanted to crystallize again what the thinking was around this one. So I had some initial note here of potential interest in Apple, but I kind of set some alerts to wait to see what would happen around these SMAs. So the credit goes to Harry for pointing this out, but it's these two candles here that I really like, which is the support here on this 100 SMA. We've got an average anchored VWAP basically anchored to that point there. But what I liked obviously was just these SMA levels here. And again, these two candles, bam, hit down. So looking at price action, bam, hit down. Couldn't get below, barely even below, the 50 SMA, kept popping up above it, almost like a balloon you're trying to push beneath the surface. There's clearly some, buying going on here, and we're not getting pushed below that point. So once it got to this day, so if we see 20th of the 11th, let's just see what was going on in the market on the 20th of the 11th as well, actually. 20th of the 11th, 15th, 19th, 20th. So I think it was, around here. But I think the last video that I had, I was kind of saying, are we going to find support here? And when we do, we might pink back off. 600 obviously a key level, but we thought maybe we're a bit overstretched here. So we took a bullish put spread was the suggestion from Harry, and a fantastic one at that. Just for these three candles here, just looking at that price action, bullish hammer formed here. So I was quite fortunate in that when it came back down here again, I was able to get bullish put spread below the 100 SMA at this kind of 225, I think 220 level I was able to get for $1. And obviously once it was off to the races, it is expired, worthless now. So that's great. So that's I've got $100 in credit for that. So that was a good trade. Props to Harry, but I just wanted to reinforce that point because I think it was a great trade, and I'm very much interested in looking at those bullish put spreads. So that was the first one. The next one was Square. So there's a theme running through all of these trades that I've been trying to analyze, which is not too worried about some of my entries in relation to the market, but once Square kind of done some of this, I was like, okay, that's obviously quite impressive. I'd be happy to get in for that, but what I'm waiting for is some sort of pullback. So that could have been a potential pullback. So I'm looking pullbacks to the 8 EMA and even the 15 EMA as well. And any anchored VWAPs are also pretty useful. So this is kind of post earnings kind of related. So I like the D1. The D1 looked good. I was pretty happy with the D1. Happy, also wary of these points of resistance here. But what ended up happening was, so we started to accumulate some square positions. So let me just switch actually across to the 30 kind of chart. So yes, we set the alert there. So what happened was I liked the trade here. So I got in here. I liked what the market was doing, and I've been waiting to get in to Square for a good thing. So a bounce off the VWAP there was kind of my entry in. The thing I want to improve upon is I like the D1. I have confidence in the D1, especially that holding up here. So a big candle like that, and it doesn't go anywhere near halfway of the candle. So I'm possibly may have put an alert here or a trend line there at the time, but didn't even dip below that. So came up here, down to here. So I was happy to get in here. But I think there's a couple of things. One, we didn't really get confirmation that the move was going to continue. So if we kind of block this off, if I were able to do that for a second and ignore these three, kind of looking at these four here. Price action wise, is that good entry? That's what I'm kind of been thinking about. No, I don't know. I don't think so. And I added here. So add here, but you kind of want to add on confirmation is what I should be looking to do. So if say you take a position there, fine. but you don't want to add at the first instance when it's gone down, because your assumption is, oh, it's going back up. And this kind of line here would be a little bit of support for us as well, because we've seen that here. It actually starts to dip below it. So didn't want to take it there too much, but definitely didn't want to add to it there. So not happy with that add at all, actually. So yes, it pings back, and we've got a little bit of history with 8EMA recently, but any stock that's moving this aggressively, we're probably going to pull back and just digest a little bit. That's what we're waiting for. So we get a bit of digestion here. So these are just kind of anchored VWAPs to usually beginning of the week or some key events. So that's looking back to Monday, that one. But what we notice is, one, we've found support in the 8EMA, but we're also not getting above the anchored one that I put to the start of the week either. So that's our anchor there, and you can kind of see we're not really getting above it over these kind of few days here. We're kind of stuck compressing at that point, which is fine. But what we want to do is, once we get this breakout up to here, and not the best in that it kind of broke out then dropped off, but I would potentially be okay with adding to some of this, because we're now breaking away from the 8EMA. That's been squashed down. Okay, fair enough. But to be fair, a lot of it was just a huge gap up, but it held most of it, or some of it. So I could see that maybe I'd want to add here. But what happens the next day? Again, we get a bit of a drop down to that anchored VWAP, possibly to the start of the week, but close to the 8EMA. But what we're forming, or starting to form, is, which I think I'd zoom out to kind of higher candles, is I want to see this start climbing higher. So fair enough, you can add here, but what I ended up doing was actually selling there for a small profit, when actually I'd done that good work. I was patient here, and maybe the ads weren't the best, fair enough, but we were getting some signs here. We're poking at this resistance. We're poking at it. We're not rejecting off it, and it's probably clear on some of the other examples we have. We are making a stair-steppy pattern. We're getting there, right? Oops, I don't know what I did there, but we're still stair-stepping up. There's nothing here to tell us, this move is over. It's time to get out of this trade. We're still doing fine. Like, everything is looking fine. I think that anchor free was to this one here. So I wouldn't want to go all the way down to there, but I'm more looking at the 21 EMA as support. So you're going to get some compression. And done the patient work, and then the breakout comes. But I've sold out by here, even though it's actually looking okay. It's poking at that resistance. It's forming, a wedge. It's getting there. It's making progress up as we go. And that was the breakout for Square, but sold out a bit prematurely. Did take profits, which is good, but could have done a lot better for that one. Probably the more frustrating one, but to keep in mind, these are winners, but I don't think I was exiting on good premises and points. So I wrote down here in my paper notes, because I'm old school, is, what am I waiting for? Like, what do I want to see? Where do I want to add? So so looking at D1 wise, we know it's fantastic D1, really good across the board. Good gap up here, so we'll anchor our VWAP to this one. So I was interested here, just to try get in when I can, some LRSI alerts. So I ended up joining app here, so a little bit of a pullback, and I tried to join in here. Could have even joined in there, to be honest, but we got past that. But same sort of situation, basically, where we join app here, but we're kind of just adding when we almost feel like adding. So here's our breakout, but we obviously didn't see that at the time. There's a potential reversal here, actually. So it was a point, and we saw the strength. So we started to see the strength here. But to be fair, I didn't know that was going to happen at the time. But it wasn't a bad place for an ad. It was relatively okay. And so took that, waited. Again, the hard work is waiting for this suppression. So again, could have added here. 8EMA got broken. Don't set my stops at 8EMA, but I'm like, what happens afterwards? what happens afterwards? Nice. You can see the volume down here. Good. Bullish reversal. Nice. Ping back up. Could add there as well. And again, similar to square, poking at this resistance. These candles here are obviously showing us that it's climbing up, bringing back down, getting up, bringing back down. But we're getting higher lows is what we're getting here. That's the good thing. That's the good thing that we're seeing. We're poking up, climbing back down, but this one here is obviously higher than this one. So we're making progress here. We're definitely making progress. So ended up selling here. So, a modest kind of win, but I was wary of this resistance here. And in my mind, I was thinking reversal. That was my thing, reversal. So it was, 20 something dollars or even $30. I can't remember what it was. What was that? 321, yes, like $20 or something. But missed the main move. All right. So done the patient stuff. Bam. Off it goes. Off it goes. Off it goes. Off it goes. Leaving quite a bit of money on the table. So yeah, made lots of notes about when is the right time to add to positions, basically. And it's kind of on reversals, but also having the patience and the confidence in your pick to kind of wait out these bits. I actually waited it out. I actually done the waiting that I had to do, and I was literally just a little bit impatient about taking that position. So it was a bit frustrating. Got to respect by LRSIs about getting in as well. So may have not taken that there, but that one potentially is a good one to take for reversal. If you're confident in the D1, because you're looking to get in on these obviously dips into here, dips down into here, and not to take profit just when you're in it. So yeah, adding to them is important, getting the right ads. What else did I write down in my notes? Yeah, so kind of questions I want to ask myself more is like, has the market situation changed? Has the picture changed? Getting confirmation of the moves, and also more firmly establishing what our targets are. So what the targets are and what the risk and reward is. So where are outs, where are ins here. Again, these are wins, which is good, but I feel somewhat I'm a little bit lucky, to be honest. That was my thinking with these. Amazon, similar sort of one. So I think I made a note on Amazon here. Yeah, I think Amazon basically gone a bit too far. When anything gets a bit extended for the 8 EMA, I think you're going to have a bit of a pause backwards. So I set some alerts and I kind of just left it. I just walked away from it, and saw what happened. So that was the original note here. And tumbling. I like this anchored VWAP to this high candle here, but also around the SMAs as well. And I was expecting some rotation to come into Amazon at some point. It is one of the big bellas, of course. So so ended up getting in Amazon in here. That was kind of my initial entry. I like this candle, and if we look at, let me just zoom in and just move to the price action here. So I liked Amazon. I liked just having a little starting position. So I went down a bit further the next day. Again, maybe getting a bit better, because again, we want confirmation. We want confirmation that Amazon's moving up, not just assuming that it's going to move up at some point. And so I continue to add, but again, not really happy with my ads, especially with Amazon actually, because I'm waiting on confirmation. That's what I want to see. So yes, it's forming support here. This not getting through this resistance. So it's found this support. It's great support that it's found, but how do we know that's not going to go bam down or bam up? We don't know yet. So we're waiting for that confirmation of what it's going to do. And here's our confirmation. That's a start towards the right direction. So you probably would want to add here rather than adding at the bottom of these candles. Yes, you can get more profit from that, but confirmation. That's what I need to bang into my head. Confirmation. Has the market situation changed? So we should go back and reference the market actually just slightly. So just looking at the quick D1 perspective, we thought that 600 might be this level that we go up, down a little bit. But we ended up getting through the 600, but I still was not super confident in this volume coming down here. On balance, volume has obviously been increasing, but it's not a confident blow through, and it may be something we'll come back and retest. But so I think we ended up jumping up here to the 25th. So we go back to our Amazon trades, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was the 25th. So it's here, and it's continued to go up from there. But yeah, so it makes it up to the 8 EMA. That's good. Happy with that. So here it is, making up to the 8 EMA, looking good, looking strong. Market gapped up here. How did Amazon do? Actually held pretty well. Great start, because I didn't want it to bounce straight off that. But the next one I want to see is here, how is it going to deal with this 8 and 21? Well, it showed us the next day by blowing through it. So it got through it quite nicely, and yeah, so I added to Amazon in here, which I like. You want to add through on confirmation of your thesis and your trend. But what I had a rough target in mind for Amazon, that was 216. But what I ended up doing was similar to what we were saying about app. As it started to approach it, maybe we saw some resistance come in here at that 216 level. But I didn't really give it time to attack that resistance. So I ended up taking profit here. But again, I feel like I'm taking profit out of fear a little bit rather than confidence. So it was a good trade. We ended up adding around this point and then getting out at this point. And my close for this would be like if it goes anywhere near this 50 SMA or heads through and closes below it, then I would be looking to exit on a small loss. Say we bought around 200-ish. Another couple of dollars below that, we would be looking to potentially get out of that. But so we rode it quite high, so $5 loss to $15. So happy with the ratio-ish on that. But again, I was right, but I exited maybe a bit too soon. So it came in here again. It was more of a motivation of fear. And what's Amazon been doing since then? Still going. And if we get like an engulfing candle, or we start to get some tiny body candles at the top, I probably, to be honest, would probably take profit with this sort of candle, because it's a big step away from this 8 EMA and 21 EMA. Big. That's fine for taking profit there. So those sorts of things on big gap ups. But if we start to get some sort of compressy kind of candles, don't make stuttering, maybe take some profit, half of it, see what happens. But that's what I felt I should have done. I should have maybe taken half the profit and maybe let the other half go and see what happens. So yeah, there's a common theme running through these. Toast was a loss, but I feel like it was one of those things where a little bit unlucky. I liked that the market went down, Toast held, really nice gap up here. It's held the gap really well, continued to go. I think this was my initial position, but maybe should have waited for this candle to be tested. So we ended up getting some compression here at the top. And I don't think that this candle here wasn't a rollover. It was a news event that kind of drove that. So I think the CFO was doing some bits, but it kind of fudged the trade, which is fine. Happens sometimes. It's not the end of the world. One thing I wish I would have done is just set a stop loss, because I forgot to put that on at my stop loss at my original position. So that's pretty definitive, isn't it? At that point, not really interested in trading that anymore. I'm sure it will recover. And I could have waited. It does have stock, but it was just an initial position. I didn't actually add to it. I thought about adding to it, but I was like, I'm not confident to add to it at this stage. I want to see more of a pullback, but I think what I'm really looking for here is confirmation. That's what I'm really looking for. Confirm to me that the trend is still in motion, like we saw in Amazon app. We saw it smash the market, basically. RDDT. Same thing. I've been in RDT for a little while. I think I joined it here. Yep. So joined it here. Fair enough. A little bounce off 8 EMA. Not a bad spot to join. But then mistake. Let me zoom out a bit. Adding here. Poor ad. Realistically, poor ad. If you're going to add, I want to be adding on these downward bits. These bits at the, more of the bottom, but confirming above it. That's basically what I'm looking for. So yeah, poor ad here. Added the next day because I thought, opportunity. So happy to be adding because I find it sometimes difficult mentally to add to trades. And yeah, again, my 21 EMA, my 15 EMA really is my point. And it's at the point of break even. So I could have broken even on the trade, but we kind of saw it got down to here. And this is my confirmation that, okay, maybe I'd be happy to add here. Confirm up, held that. Okay, I'd be happy to add to that. That would be another add to that position rather than all the way up here and, even up here. Because we don't know how far down the pullback's going to go. We don't know. Could go further, could drop off the cliff. Obviously, at that point, we've got a kind of a break-even point here and be able to scratch out the positions that we've got, maybe even take a tiny profit, but bounced off here, nice, back above the 8 EMA, into here, nice, and we start to kind of tick this way. I've actually made a note on here, but we can tell when we exit on here because I've got it in here. So 6th of the 12th in the morning, a bit by this one, but 5th, 6th. Yeah, so again, made profit, pretty happy that we made profit overall, but exit 154 I think was the exit. So let's just zoom in and look at 154. Yeah, so let's just put a 15-minute on. Tuesday I said deny, I think. No, 6th, wasn't it? 6th. 6. Where there's this bloody 6th. Yeah. So I think that is an anchored VWAP to the start of the week, and I like anchored VWAP bounces. It's one of my favorite things. Look at that. Perfect anchored VWAP bounce. What did I do? Sold. Right around here. Possibly on this one. 154 I said deny. Yep. Don't usually trade the first hour. This is what happens. Beautiful. Bullish hammer. Look what I left on the table. What's that? An extra $10. Yeah, got to 164, didn't it? Could have closed at end of day. Bam. Nice tidy profit. Or being like, excellent, we now have confirmation of our move is good. So again, confirming the ads, and being patient with the ads, being patient with the entries, and on the successful breakouts like this is a good breakout from Reddit, right? A lot of people potentially would be joining the trade here, and you're exiting the trade just as it's got going. Again, back to Amazon, look what we left on the table. Back to Apple, look what was left on the table. So yeah, trying to keep that in mind for my trades. This is just one of my separate accounts trying some new things, but yeah, got to work on that. I know people say you can never go bust taking profit. Don't believe in that, to be perfectly honest. So a little bit annoyed by that, but got to improve, and made some good notes and really some good mental just mental notes really. And just looking ahead for the market, it's looking fine. I am kind of neutral to, kind of bullish to neutral. Not quite sure where around I should put that, but I'm not expecting anything negative to kind of come out from what's happening basically. If we look at what have we got happening for the week, got to keep an eye on CPI. Core is coming, and unemployment claims are also coming this week as well. Probably should note, actually, OPEC is always happening this week, some OPEC meetings for oil. But I'm a little bit wary, though, to be honest. So I've taken profits on those positions also because I was a bit motivated by the market to do so. So breaking through 600 is great. I think that's really good. We really should be good for the market that we're broken through. But no, this is sort of some Thanksgiving kind of volume as well. So yeah, you break through 600 and people might think, oh, we're clear sailing from here. And I'm just a bit skeptical that we are, to be honest, that we're plain sailing. So I don't know if we've got 500 in here, but I just think these whole price levels are probably worth respecting a bit more. There's a big psychological level. So if you think like here's 500, it took a little bit while to kind of get around it. Like and we break it like here, again, again, down, then it holds. Then you can be off to the races a bit more. But yeah, not super confident in this move. Basically, is my summary of that. And yeah, especially coming towards Christmas as well. I don't think too much is going to come off with that in terms of going. So kind of loosening some positions